This is an adapted version of the sermon I preached on July 21st, 2019, the 16th Sunday in Ordinary Time. The Gospel reading was Luke 10:38-42, which goes like this. Now as Jesus and his disciples went on their way, he entered a certain village, where a woman named Martha welcomed him into her home. She had a sister named Mary, who sat at the Lord's feet and listened to what he was saying. But Martha was distracted by her many tasks. So she came to him and asked, "Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to do all the work by myself? Tell her then to help me." But the Lord answered her, "Martha, Martha, you are worried and distracted by many things. There is need of only one thing. Mary has chosen the better part, which will not be taken away from her." The Gospel of the Lord. Martha was distracted by her many tasks, while Mary sat at the Lord's feet and listened to what he was saying. We don't know what these tasks were, but whatever they were, she was distracted by them. She couldn't or didn't take the time to focus on Jesus the way her sister did, her sister who sat at his feet and listened. There is need of only one thing, Jesus said, sitting and listening. Just sit, just listen. So simple, yet so hard to do. For a lot of us, finding the time or making the time is not easy. We are distracted by so much. So I invite you to take a few minutes and sit. A few minutes and listen. Not so much to me, but listening for God. I'm going to lead us right now on something called a prayer journey. I invite you to come along with me on this journey. So sit back, close your eyes. Put your hands to the side, palms up if that's comfortable for you. Let your legs relax. Try not to fall asleep, but if you do, it's okay. There's no wrong way to do this. Just listen to the words I say, and let your mind imagine the sights, the sounds, the smells, and feelings that come up. Breathe in. Breathe out. You are standing in a room. Jesus is in the room with you, looking at you kindly. He gestures toward the floor, and you see that there are many things strewn about the room, things you recognize, things that you are concerned about. You see pictures of people you know. You see your bank statements. You see your job or your school. You see your hobbies. You see your bad habits. You see the grudges you hold. You see your worries. Then Jesus gestures to the right side of the room, and you see against the wall a large set of shelves. You know that he is encouraging you to pick up the things cluttering the room and put them on the shelves. You begin to do that, one item at a time. With each item you place on a shelf, you feel a little lighter. You know you aren't throwing these things away. You're just putting them to the side, making room. When everything is on the shelves, the room looks clean, inviting, ready. Jesus sits down in the middle of the room. He gestures for you to join him, and you sit in front of him. Now that the clutter has been moved, you can see Jesus more clearly, and you see that there is a light shining from him. Not a blinding light, not an overpowering light, but a warm, kind, beautiful light that casts no shadow. He begins to speak. You listen to his words. They are words of love, words of compassion, words of kindness. He reaches out and touches your hand. He says, "Do you know that I love you?" Your eyes meet, and he stares right into your soul. "I love you," he says again. "I always have, and I always will." He says more than this. Listen to his words spoken just to you. Then Jesus asks, "Do you love me?" You glance over to the shelves for a moment, thinking about what's on them. "I know," Jesus says, "they are all very distracting, but stay here with me." You notice his hand is still on yours as he grips it a little tighter. You also notice that the two of you are not alone in the room. Many others are seated there as well. You feel a little self-conscious at first, but then you notice that they're not looking at you. They're looking at Jesus. And somehow he is talking with them even while he's talking with you. Somehow he is devoting his full attention to each one of you at the same time, holding the hand of each one of you, telling each one of you how much he loves you. You don't know how he's doing that. It's something no normal person could do. But Jesus is no normal person. All of you, all of us, are here together, gathered in one room, listening to Jesus. We have made room, and we are ready to continue listening. He has a little more to say to us today. Let's be quiet for a minute and listen. And then he is finished. He stands up and says farewell. He tells you you can come back here anytime and spend time with me. Just put your clutter on the shelf for a few minutes, and you'll find me here. Then he fades from your view. The others sitting around him linger for a moment, and in that moment you can glimpse a light shining inside each one of them, a light that seems so familiar. You wonder if they see that same light in you. You begin to think about someone you could share this with, someone you could tell about the words Jesus said to you. Perhaps you will tell a friend or a spouse. Perhaps you will comment on this video or on this post, or perhaps in a different way. And then the others fade away. The room fades away. You can open your eyes. Jesus said to Martha, "Martha, Martha, you are worried and distracted by many things. There is need of only one thing. Mary has chosen the better part, which will not be taken away from her." Amen.